Lloyd Garmadon's elemental power has finally been explained in Ninjago Dragon's Rise in Season 4. After 18 seasons of not even knowing what Lloyd's elemental power even is, we finally got an answer. I remember how whenever I wanted to explain the concept of Ninjago to people who have never watched the show, I'd explain how they're all elemental masters, how one controls ice, another controls fire, and so on. But when it came to explaining who the protagonist is, of course people would ask me, well, what's his elemental power? And I would go,
I don't know.
And they would be like, what the fuck do you mean you don't know the element of the protagonist? It was a whole thing. But now we finally have an answer. We finally know what Lloyd's elemental power is and what it does. Lloyd's elemental power is described as the connection between and through all things. And Lloyd was labeled as the master of life. Now, I think life is a bit tricky as a name for an element. Going back to explaining who the ninja are to people who have never seen Ninjago, describing the master of fire as the one who controls fire and the master of water as the one who controls water, if I say that Lloyd is the elemental master of life, that would lead someone without more knowledge of the show to assume that he simply controls all living things, which would make him entirely overpowered, but that is not the case. However, some people have realized that life can also function as an acronym. As in the early seasons of Ninjago, Lloyd's power was described as a combination of all the powers from the golden weapons. These being lightning, ice, fire, and earth. And you see what happens when we take the first letter of each element? That's right, we get life. However, this interpretation as an acronym leaves out all of the other elemental powers which we now know Lloyd is also connected to. Moreover, the explanation of the connection between and through all things reminds me a whole lot to the explanation that was given to Lloyd's element in the LEGO Ninjago movie, where his element was described as green is the color of life. It flows through all living things, connecting them all, the way I, Lloyd, connect the ninjas or the way I connect my family. Seems to me like the LEGO Ninjago movie had given us the answers all those years ago, and we just overlooked it because we were too caught up in complaining about replacing every ninja's voice actor with celebrities. Now, if you ask me, given these explanations that we've been given to what Lloyd's power actually is, I think maybe a more appropriate label for it would have been something like Master of Unity or Master of Connection, as I don't see how life is more fitting than power or energy. But you know what, I think that's kind of the beauty of it. There is no one word that fully encapsulates what Lloyd's power actually is. Lloyd's power is not just one thing. It's flexible, it's versatile, it changes, it shifts, it adapts, ever-flowing and ever-moving. To try to limit all of that to just one word is impossible. And that's okay. Lloyd's power doesn't have to fit in one single limited thing, because in a way, the whole point of Lloyd's power is how it doesn't fit in just one label. Green is not just one thing or the other, it's the connection between everything. It's not just fire or just lightning, but it doesn't mean that it's not those things, or that it's only those things. It's many things. Maybe it's all of them, maybe it's something different, something special, and something unique. But that's what makes it powerful.